Welcome back. Oh, damn it, Andy, you're cleaning around in the background. Are you about to start up and go?
I was squeaking it.
Welcome to the podcast. We've made it to episode 3, so people are actually seeming to like it so far because they keep asking for more. So here we are. I'm also going to try and change the set every week, by the way, because we've been in the engine room, we've been in the workshop, now we're just outside. We're kind of running out of places to go.
It's a lovely night.
It is quite nice, actually, for Scotland, to be fair.
It's not raining.
I've got the Boxster as well, so roof down on the way home. How can you not? I should probably introduce you both because you're kind of the heart of the business, to be fair. Stan and Stan.
Yeah.
Father, son.
Well, I'm Stan. For those of you that don't know me, Ecotune is a business that I set up back in 2009, and it has grown into what it is today with a whole team. So,
And now your son's working with you.
Stan is.
I mean, it was accidentally. You know,
How old were
initially.
you in 2009, by the way? Like
4.
what?
3 even. 2008,
Were
3
you?
years old. 2006.
Oh my God.
So,
when we first got the unit, we had a single 2-post lift.
In here?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I still remember like sitting, we stand on the 2-post lift and
I
sort of
remember
moving them up and down. It's like the most exciting day of your life, being on this
mini
lift.
roller coaster in the workshop. It was
I
good.
love that. That's brilliant.
It was good. Aye.
But you tune all the cars here, and that's what you've been doing
Yep.
for years.
I mean, I used to be sort of front of house tuning. I used to do a fair bit of mechanical stuff.
You still do, to be fair.
Customer service.
I think you still wish you could be on the front desk as well sometimes. You do try.
I miss it.
It's fun.
I definitely miss the interaction with customers, and I'd like to have the time to do it more. But when you're working in calibration, unfortunately, your focus really can't be averted because a lot of the stuff that you're doing can be quite intense and distractions, and they just don't work well with that role.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. When it comes to this podcast anyway, what have you thought? Have you both watched both the first episodes? How are you getting on with it? Are you worried?
We did. I mean,
Do
we
you like
actually
it?
watched the second episode when we were away in Germany.
Yeah, you're away. We'll come on to
So
that shortly.
we stuck it on when everybody was around, and I thought it was quite good.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, we were actually in a kind of chalet.
Yeah, with the dealers, because you had Retro.
Retro
and
Resource,
Ignite.
Ignite Performance.
VGS as well.
Well, VGS, they were staying at a slightly different, controversial hotel.
Right, okay.
I say controversial, it was a cracking wee place. I dropped them off, their view was fantastic, but I think it was quite an upbeat environment.
Right.
And by all accounts, a good time was had by the whole team there.
Memories.
Don't
made.
get me into
None of
trouble.
which did we partake. Although, on saying that, at the little chalet that we were in, there was a stag party across the street, and yeah, they wanted to have a good time.
Did you crash a
Aye,
stag?
they know. They
No.
know how to party.
Well, the stag came out wearing nothing but, I think, a pair of Crocs
A pair of Skechers
and a hat on backwards,
Right,
and nothing else.
right.
And we was asking to sit in the cars,
No.
and I really wasn't up for that.
No.
You know,
Oh my God.
like,
Not in that, anyway.
well, not
Brand
in,
new.
not in any of them.
No.
Not in any of them. So, because they were wanting to take pictures of them in the cars, and listen,
Yeah.
it was good fun. You know, they were having a laugh. But I really wasn't up for another man's gooch.
No.
On my
No, that crosses the line.
yes. Yeah.
It does.
So we put up with a wee bit of it for a little while, and then we just went back indoors and left them to it. But great weekend.
Yeah, well, when did you leave? Was it Friday?
Thursday. But the
So you've been away a few
preparation
days.
for the event was quite intense because
Yeah.
2 days before. this
So
wasn't-
I was on holiday, and then I saw on your story that you were flying to Ireland, and I was really confused. And I did a bit of sleuthing, and I saw the tail number of the plane, saw where you were flying to.
What did you do?
Yeah, I
tracked them?
sleuthed a bit. And And I was like, what the hell's going on? But I didn't want to message and ask.
To
And
be fair, nobody knew what was going on. Not
No.
even me. He told me 15 minutes before he had to be at the airport. We need to go to the airport.
Well,
you were going together?
Well, you know what
Okay.
it's like.
Well, I dropped him off. But
Right,
as we left, we obviously hit the worst traffic possible.
As you do
we
around
were,
here.
we were cutting it fine.
Yeah, so you flew to Ireland.
Well, I came to work with every intentions of doing work, and but you've got like notifications, auto trader notifications, and I got like a notification in a car,
Yeah.
and like I'd sort of put in like a spec criteria, and I thought, and I got this notification, and I phoned them, just, is this car available? And they were like, yeah, it's available, and then I was like, looked at flights, and I was on a flight within the hour, I think, from Glasgow
legit.
Airport, landed into London City Airport with a friend in Northern Ireland, picked me up there, very lucky,
Yeah.
took me to the car dealer. I liked the car. It's
And you
funny,
struck a deal
I didn't
on
even
that, was
test drive it because like,
Really?
I knew who the car dealer was. I'd heard good things about them, and I
Right,
knew
okay.
fine well if there was a problem they would have looked after it. But the Morgan Cars in Northern Ireland, if anybody's interested, great bunch of guys. But so they were dead easy to deal with. Told me how to get back to the ferry terminal, and then I was home for midnight with the car.
That would have been a fun drive back though, right?
It's a good day out, that.
It was
Because you've had an RS6 before. This is the car in question, by the way,
Yeah.
if you can't tell. And we'll come on to the plate in a minute, by the way, because that's a really special one too. You had a C7, a car or two before this,
Yep.
and now you're on to the C8.
Well, the C7 for me was like my first big sort of milestone, if you like, for
Yeah.
like kind of like you work hard, you want
Yep.
to be able to get some nice things. So the C7 for me was a big deal at the time, and it's still a fantastic car. Really, I've got a soft spot for them.
They're so timeless. Like, we
Oh,
still get
yeah.
them now for,
Yeah.
for work and tuning
Yeah.
all the time, and they're so nice.
And then I missed it because
Mm-hmm.
I was privileged enough to be able to go into the Porsche after that, and then
Yeah.
once we sold that, I never really replaced it for ages.
No, you had
I was
Laura's
waiting for
car,
the
which
right
was the
car.
RS5 and all that, but
Cruising
yeah.
in the van for the
I
last
was.
30,000
It's just
miles.
a van.
That T5 life, love it.
It's back there
Still
now,
going.
to be fair.
Still going.
Yeah, it's in the background just now. It's smart.
That thing
right?
has been running like 2.1 bar a boost for the last 4 years.
It's been perfect.
It's been towing. I mean, it's really never
It's
given
been
us any bother. Just
Proper
change the oil.
workhorse, I know.
Santa Pod Creel here, there, no problem.
And I don't want to sell it now. Tony wants me to sell it, and I'm saying convert it into a wee motorhome, and
Yep.
I just quite fancy keeping it.
You could take it to events. You could take it up around Scotland. You can do what you want with it. You'll probably want to take it to the ring now and tow a toy or something. Now
No.
you've been.
No.
The plate, though, we should touch on that because that's cool. We have a lot of plates within the company, and it'll be like ECO 9 TUN for like our Golf R. And you've got ECO 7 on the RS3 over there, TUN. This one came about. Tell
Well,
us.
actually, what happened there was a good friend and customer, a gentleman named John Denton. I say he's a customer. Yes. He's actually a customer of Midland VWs, who's an Ecotune dealer in the Midlands.
Yeah.
And they decided, we collaborated with him, and he did a 4-port build where we put a G3900 with the 4-port cylinder head, and it's the bottom end was all done by Jody Lees, who's the owner at Midland VW, and basically built this car together, and we worked together on it. We logged together, and we just kept making the car better and better and better. And John continued to just invest in the car, take every advice every step of the way. And we went to events together, and you could just see the gradual progression, the car getting better and better and better. And then on the last trip out, he was just running 9s, like deep 9s, back to back to back to back to back.
I was there. We've actually got a video coming out about that too.
Oh, good. Well,
Because he just set, I think it's the 3rd fastest Golf R in the world, is it not?
Yeah, he's close
Or
to for
thereabouts.
the 7.5.
I don't really follow the records,
No.
other
Just
than the
the
one
one
that we
you've got.
have.
Because
Well,
it's the record that
Well,
matters.
you know what I'm saying. It's like I try not. You guys are more into
Yeah.
what's going on in the leaderboards, but I did get told that it was, I think, the 3rd, and I'm delighted for him. He deserves it, and so do Midland VW, because they've been fantastic. And coming to the events, going to the track, working together, really easy to deal with, and the customer feedback so good. That what it's
John's
like. We
mad
get
for
Yeah, totally.
yeah. So at the end of that event, John, who had piloted the car himself the whole day, apart from, I think, Josh from Midland ran it as well. So John came up to me just at the very end of the day when we were packing up to leave, and he handed me a document, and he went, "Here, that's for you." And I said, "What's this?" And he went, "Look at it." And I looked at it, and it was the certificate, the registration retention certificate for this registration plate. Now, because it's EC07UNE, that was a plate that I'd always wanted and had seen it. I think it was on a Porsche or something for a while. It must have been given back to DVLA or something. But anyway, he managed to get it. And
Yeah, that's a proper story as well. It must be.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got it. You didn't say.
I'd be interested. I'd be interested to know. I think John would like you to think that he's Mr. Mysterious, you know, with his connections everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I was humbled. I mean, I didn't know what to say. I was almost
That
a bit
is some
embarrassed.
gift.
You know,
I mean, that is as close as you'll get, I think.
well, that's it. It's
it.
the ultimate
That is the
plate.
plate.
You know.
That is the plate.
So if you're watching, John, thanks very much. That was probably one of the most meaningful gifts a customer has ever. Well, it most definitely is. Way and above and beyond, and I very much appreciate it. And of course, you know, having it on my car is great. You know, I'm really happy with it. So.
Well, you had to go get a car to suit that plate, really.
Well,
That's exactly what happened. I came in, I had this new registration plate, and that car just came up at the right time.
Yeah.
He was really eager to fit it, you know, as soon as it all went through. He was out with the double-sided tape.
I
Straight
drove to Germany on the original plate,
Yeah.
and I fitted the plates at the Nürburgring because I managed to get the transfer done
Do
online.
you know, some people have actually said as well that they saw it and they were like, "What the hell is that? That's amazing." So it's like it's been noticed. Love it. Well, to be fair, back to the ring. You spent a few days on track, right?
Well,
Have you been before?
Well,
you two?
we'd never. I certainly had never been. I think you've been.
yeah,
once
I've
or
been
twice
before. Certainly,
Yeah.
cars that I've worked on have been there an awful lot
Yeah.
more than me.
Yeah, you've not had much time to actually get down and experience it, but you've done it before. You took the RS6, Stan, you took what the camera's actually mounted to right now,
Yeah.
your
Audi
A3,
A3.
1.8, really special. Quickly, just to touch on that, what is going on with that car?
Well, initially, it did start life as like a standard 1.8. And
Yeah. It's just a 1.8 A3. Like,
yeah,
you would
well,
never know
I mean,
it's
it
anything.
still is, but there's a couple of special modifications that's been added to
Yeah.
that since then. I mean, I think if some of you have seen the Instagram, you know, really the time lapse, we'd done a full build on the car, which has the 4-port package, which, as far as I'm aware, you know, I don't think anyone's done that. You know,
Not on the 1.8, I
yeah.
don't think.
So,
no.
and there's definitely a unique sound off that car, and we paired it with a really nice G25 660.
And the exhaust you just put on it as well. Which one was that?
It's a Scorpion, so we got
Nice.
a resonated valve cap back, and the valve part of that is, you know,
Well,
the
you added
A3
valves.
you know, that never came with valves.
Exactly,
unlike
yeah,
the
you coded
S3.
them in and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, but next time I'd just buy an S3. Like, save me the hassle, you know.
No, that's special. What kind of power is it?
So far, on pump, it's doing about 550, and on ethanol, it's, what was it, 650?
Just under 620. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot.
It was. How old are you again?
I'll be 19 in a month or two.
And you were just at the ring with a 550
Yeah.
horsepower plus.
Yeah,
car.
I mean, me
And it
and
served
him.
you well.
Yeah, we went round. The first time we went on the track, we took my car.
Yeah.
And
Do we have to talk about that?
Were you a bad passenger, Stan, or was it a
he wasn't
hairy
impressed
moment?
with my driving, I don't think.
Really?
Well, I was impressed with your driving. I think that was the problem. Yeah, as I said to the guys, I made noises in front of my son that no father ever should. Yeah.
Because we were running it on a blend of 102, like, because I think here you can only get 99, but in
Yeah.
Germany you got 102 plus a bit of ethanol. And the price of ethanol in Europe is so cheap.
They've got it on pump, haven't
Yeah,
they?
they've got it on pump. It was, you know,
It's like 75 cents
yeah,
a year.
it was, you know, like 40 euros to fill the car up with ethanol. It was like really good. You
It's
know?
the dream.
Oh my
That's it.
god, we need that here. A fun fact, actually, I think Morrison's used to have that a good few years ago. It was like 10 years ago or so. But here in the UK, they had it on pump for a while, as
Yeah.
far as I'm aware. which is quite mad.
But I
Bring it
was
back.
I was massively impressed. Like from the minute that we came through the barrier and onto the track, Stan. We'd been spending a bit of time. You see, Stan goes out. He does logs. He goes back. I look at the logs. I make some changes, and it looks like things are improving. And I'm generally not out with the cars. I'm a data guy. I look at the data and I just like to make the adjustments. And so I was a passenger this time, and certainly for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, as the car came out of the stalls, I feel like I had my laptop on my lap to log.
Oh,
the
you're
car.
logging it at the same time?
Well,
Yeah,
that
okay.
was the plan.
And
Right.
he was
But I was
filming.
also filming with my phone, right?
Yeah.
And I just sort of, after third gear, I just sort of went,
I seen the
and I put
laptop
the
slowly
laptop
start
down and I put my phone away.
Started finding things to hold.
I thought, no, this is
He's
not
just
going
trying
to
to
work
survive
out.
the lap.
Oh my god.
But to
That's
be fair,
amazing.
I can't fault it. It drove to the Nürburgring, done a lap of the Nürburgring, and drove home. No problem. I was really impressed. And
So you're only at a lap or two or a couple laps?
yeah,
Did
we
you-
only went out one lap and then got something to eat, and then we went out in your car for a lap. But it started
So
raining.
Well,
You went out in the RS6?
Yeah.
Actually, what happened was we went out for a lap in Stan's car, and
Ah,
then
yeah.
there was an incident,
Yep.
Right, okay.
and there was
We'll come on to more incidents later. That's a bit of foreshadowing.
well, there was an incident,
Yeah.
and that incident then sort of took us away from the track for the rest of the day, and then we come back a little bit later on once we'd sort of got everything organised, and it started to rain a little bit. I thought, oh, that's a great idea. Let's go out on the Nurburgring in the rain,
Traction off. I should add.
Yeah.
Well,
Dynamic.
experienced driver. I know a thing or two about pedaling a car.
Yeah.
Not. So James from Ignite, he'd went out in front of me. He spun off at the first corner in the same thing, but I didn't see that until I came round the corner. So he
Right.
was off the track. And
Car okay?
I mean, he tapped the
Pride, not
bumper.
okay.
a wee
but
bit
it
of a
was,
bump in
it
the
was
bumper, nothing,
nothing
nothing terrible, everything was okay.
Good.
And every single corner that I went into, even gently, no matter what I did, it was like driving on butter. It was just sliding. Like
Really?
The weight of the car. Well, it had been warm the previous couple of days,
Yeah.
so a lot of rubber laid down the track. That light spray of rain, it just made the surface so slippy.
Greasy. And
So
that,
I think there was a couple of corners, and I started to go out, and then Stan turned and he said, "Dad, we're putting the traction control back on."
Yeah, it was.
And we just got round, let's say, because
Cruised it round.
otherwise
It was like driving a boat. Like you turn and then the input would happen.
How did the other dealers' cars get on? Were they going well, like
Um,
retro and?
I never
Because
really
they've got
see.
a 4-port club sport.
So
yeah. Yes.
Tom's Club Sport was flying, absolutely flying. He's got the 4-port with the G25 660. This is a great little turbo, like for that 4-port head. A lot of folk go, oh well, you go that way so that you can, put the biggest possible turbo you can, and that's fine for us for drag. But see, for track setup, oh my god,
It's really responsive. Like,
It
it's
is
just powers.
insane how great it is with the smaller unit, because you do, sure, okay, you don't have the massive top end, but the response and the control through the pedal, not falling into a lag zone too much, just mega. So Tom was out absolutely slaying it on track, and he had his son Jack with him, and of course Dane was out. Dane wasn't out. James was out with Dane's car,
Oh, okay.
We were getting some data initially at the
Right.
start of the trip.
just making sure that we were happy with everything in his car.
Before you send it properly.
Yeah.
And then Misha went out in Dane's car.
How did you settle that up as well? Did Dane set up
Dane-
meeting Misha and?
Dane set that up.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they actually were meant to go out the day before, but I think there was another incident on track, and they were like at the area where you scan your ticket to go out, and that's where they get stopped, I believe, and they had to go wait till the next day.
I don't know if it was the weather or was it a crash? Was
It
it?
was. I can't remember now. I mean,
Something
there was a
happened,
point where
they
the
couldn't
weather
go.
did turn. Like, they did the announcement. There was a thunderstorm in 15 minutes, and 3 minutes later, chairs were flying. And
Well, maybe that was a sign because
maybe
unfortunately there was an incident, wasn't there?
yeah.
You want me to talk about that?
I think we need to touch on it because everyone's going to be wondering.
Well, I mean, it was quite frightening, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
you know, Dane, by his own admission, larger than life character, but he can be quite nervous, certainly as a passenger. Probably significantly more nervous, I would say, than what I was with young Dan driving. And he was nervous about going out with Misha the night before anyway, and the night before that, because obviously it was
I mean,
postponed
I
a
think
day.
anybody would be, you know.
No, you see how he drives on track. He knows the track really, really well, so he's going to go into corners and onto straights and carry more speed, you know, through the track than almost everyone. And so he was understandably nervous about being the passenger, but
Who wouldn't be, man?
yeah,
But,
I mean, he's a
you know,
brilliant driver.
Oh,
I mean,
one
he's
of the best,
incredible
you know,
driver. Yeah, one of the best, exactly. But being a passenger
you
is
see his
always
videos
scary.
and it's
I think.
just like unbelievable. You know, he's really good. But
I mean, Dane was just his usual bubbly self on the day, and he sort of, we were messaging backwards and forwards. He was going down to, I think they call it YouTube Corner or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Was he what, live commentary as you were going around? Or what?
well, no, we didn't hear. We just knew he was going out.
Yeah.
And then it's really just a case of, we were just sitting having a coffee, weren't we?
yeah,
Some
just-
pancakes
yeah,
up in
we're having a bit of
Devil's
breakfast.
Devil's Diner.
Uh-huh. It's just as we
Cracking
come off the
pancakes.
track, you know.
Pancakes were bang.
Shout out to the back.
I shout out for the pancakes. Pancakes were mega. We created like a Nürburgring group chat between us all,
Yeah.
and we just got a single message from Dane that just said, "We've crashed."
Right.
So you can imagine. Now Dane's girlfriend Kelly, she was away at the time, you know, getting some food. So we're sitting outside, and we couldn't get hold of him initially. So we're like, well, the fact that we've got a message from him saying we've crashed is
must be,
reassuring
yeah.
because he's able to, you know.
Yeah, he's texting.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But it transpired that the first part of the track they were doing particularly well on, and he came to one of the big straights. And if you have a look on, Misha's actually posted a video about it. But,
He explains it really well.
he does.
So we might not do that justice exactly, but
Yeah, it basically caught some air, and the aero in the car sort of compromised its flight ability,
yeah, the lack of,
Aye.
I guess.
and it resulted in it steering into the barrier. I think it was just under 170 miles an hour. So
Yeah,
I think by
Scary.
anyone's standards, that's
that's a big one.
a big one. And I think, you know, when we've watched the video, you know, in Misha's office,
And you won't see the video because he has an agreement
He has
with
like a
the
license
Nurburgring
in law, but he's not
to
allowed
not
do that.
share
Yeah.
crashes, which
But
is fair enough. But
It's not nice to see, you know. It's just a shame, you know. It's like a freak
well, that
accident.
car had only been finished off recently.
Yeah, and it'd only just, you know, been wrapped as
Been
well.
wrapped by
Yeah,
Shaw
by Shaw.
around the corner.
Yeah.
We had just finished off with our side of things here.
we built quite a special engine for it.
It really was, yeah.
Done the G25 6XT, which is that track thing I was telling you about, the 4-port
He was
head.
doing some mad times as
Crazy.
well.
It was in the 4s, 100 to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it way outperformed my expectations. So we were excited. You know, we wanted to see what it would do on track.
And how much it would impress Misha, because that's like
Well,
a big thing.
yeah, you know,
He's driven quite a few Ecotune cars. He always seems really
he
happy
drove
with them.
the Polos. You know, he drove a few of the Polos.
Ibizas and yeah, always good feedback on them.
Well,
He had a quote actually.
He
from
did. He did give good feedback. You know,
he said, I don't quote me
word for
entirely,
word, yeah.
but something along the lines of, "This is the best and the quickest Golf R I have ever driven." Something like that. We were chuffed about that.
Yeah.
do the wee dance in the corner. Watching the video.
Oh man.
Well, obviously that's a good, but obviously it ended in tragedy, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The car's now, you know, probably getting replaced. And
Yeah, you can't really do much from what I've heard with how it sits just now. It's not really going to be economical to repair it. You know.
anything's fixable, and
Yeah.
and it is. You know, you could pull it straight. I don't think that it would be wise.
You know,
No.
Obviously, the main thing was that they were both okay.
Yeah.
You know, and the
Airbags
ambulance crew and stuff were
didn't go
they
for
were
anything,
so
like, it
quick to
was-
respond. You know.
Yeah.
And even the staff were, you know, giving us guidance on where to go meet them and stuff, and so they done a really good job. And
They're really
making sure
quick
they
with
were
it.
all right. Yeah.
They know what they're doing. I mean, they've obviously
I
had
mean, the
enough
track was
crashes,
shot like
but
real quick.
But
Yeah.
I was gutted. I was gutted for Dane. I was so relieved when we learned he was okay. He was very badly shaken, which who wouldn't be? You know,
I'd still be shaking up now. Like,
crazy, crazy thing to happen. So they'll rebuild the car. You know, I'd like to see them, you know, do what needs to be done to it, and hopefully he can get back out there, even if it's not with Misha driving the car, even if he just goes out and gets a good few laps in and get, you know, because it's that whole sort of like you should get back on the bike when you fall off thing. You know?
yes.
Yeah.
Some unfinished business for lap time's sake as well, maybe.
Yeah, he deserves to get a few good laps in. Yeah.
But what I would say is that when you watch the video, and I'm hoping that this footage will be released like sort of up to the accident, but the way that the car was going was...
Yeah, I've seen that. Wow.
It's... I wouldn't get in the car like it's too fast, man. You know.
No, it looked like it was absolutely shifting, moving, and they were both quite happy at seeing with it.
Well, Misha's so focused.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Dane had a constant like smile on his face. You know, he kept what was it? He kept squeaking.
Sorry, Dane. But it was. Listen, who can blame him? It looked scary. I mean, normally when you watch footage of a car on track, it looks slow. I find, you know, when you're out on, I don't know if you've ever filmed it looks slow, but when you watch the footage, it looks fast, which means it must be really fast.
Yeah. I know.
It sounded great, you know, like the soundtrack of it.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
awesome.
That's one of the unique things about the kit, really.
Yeah.
One of the big pulls towards getting
Yeah.
it. is
Especially the
it sounds
PM3
special
you know, stuff. It just sounds awesome.
It does.
Yeah. Well, unfinished business. Back to the ring, hopefully, sometime soon after we've all put together and sorted the car out. Got it built
I
going.
mean, I'm looking forward to helping to get it all put back together. And
Think we'll go similar spec, or do you think we'll go maybe a bit different?
well, Misha, this accident happened, and you know he was so humble about the whole thing. Took full responsibility for what had happened. I mean, there's clearly factors that were involved here that were out with his control. But despite that, he recognised the position that Dane and the team were put in as a result of it. And there was just no question. It was just like, here's what we're going to do. You know, we're going to fix your car, or we're going to replace it. We're going to get it back. We're going to build it better than it was before. And I think for Dane, considering how nervous he was about the whole thing, this happened, you know, for certainly I felt when I heard that, I was quite relieved because
It would take a lot of the...
he needed a lift
Yeah.
You know.
at that point, and I was worried about him. You know, I'm thinking, for God's sake, you know. So, you know, we're excited to be part of the rebuild.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, I'm excited to, you know. It would be nice to get the car back together and get back to the ring and, you know, actually see through, you know, what it was meant to do.
Get the outcome, because there was a lot of people who are really interested. How fast are these cars? You know, when I mean, you'll be able to see them certainly in the first part of the track, but
Get a really
you know,
good idea of it.
Getting a good lap in would be good.
Yeah.
But
Fast enough for Dane to squeak. So
it definitely was. It was.
Well, yeah. We'll. I guess we'll tie in again when that's back and being rebuilt. We'll let everyone know how it gets on.
We're just having a chat just now about what that process looks like. So it's obviously only like a couple. What did we get back 2 days ago?
a day, 2 days ago.
The days
Yeah.
are blended together just now. So
I bet. I guess moving on from your time at the ring, which was mixed, in good and bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the RS6 now. That's only been with you like less than a week or so. What are you going to do with it? Build? Is it tuned now? I don't know what you've done to it already.
Well, my plan was to tune it while we were over there, because obviously I've produced production calibrations that I'm really proud of and really happy with. So the car's completely stock at the moment. I thought, well, we'll get a stage 1 on it or whatever while I was out there, but just the way that everything sort of came about, the weather and time, and see, to be honest, we were out eating and just enjoying the vibe. It was a vibe.
I mean, the vibe at the Nürburgring is just something.
It was-
else, you know,
I saw
it
your
was,
stories. I mean,
it was unbelievable.
cars
You know,
that are
every
there.
fifth car was a GT3 RS. Like, you
Yeah.
know, and everybody there's so nice. You know, it's just.
It was brilliant to
Yeah.
spend time with Stan.
Mhm.
You know, like I work so much, and
well, you work really closely together.
we work
But-
closely together, but in different areas of the business. So
Yeah.
Stan deals in a lot of the product development and sort of creating the processes for those products, and I'm working in calibration. So whilst we're in the same building, you know, we don't really get a great. So it was just lovely to be able to. Stan was out doing some logs in his car, you know,
Yeah.
and we were able to go together this time instead of.
Yeah.
Instead of like this whole sort of back and forth, and some of the roads out there are mega.
I did not see one pothole when I was in Europe. The roads there were unbelievable. You know, like.
I mean,
Dream.
At
was so
18
smooth.
years old, driving all the way to Germany in your own car that you've built.
I know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing that at 18?
Especially going round with my dad at the
Oh.
Nürburgring. That was a real moment. You know.
I
enjoyed
love that. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
it was a cool moment.
What is next for this? Are
Well,
you gonna
I mean,
go?
I'll go through the stages. Naturally,
Yeah.
we'll go stage 1, stage 2, and then I'll decide what happens after that. There's obviously some options for bigger turbos and things like out there, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
No.
Um,
So you're not going to tell me what record you're chasing with it or anything, then? No.
I mean, you'd be able to tell me if what the records are.
But you want
My
them.
job is to do the best possible job I can of calibration. So, like, I've already spent hundreds of hours in development on them all anyway.
We
you
do
know?
a lot of the RS6s,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
C8s. So
So having one
feedback's good,
here
really good.
that we can just put on between spells and things like that,
Mhm.
you know, will just mean that anyone that's got that calibration on their car just now will be able to get updates, or you know, because the more time you spend on something, it gets shinier and shinier.
Yeah. I'll book it in the diary.
Do that.
And for your A3, anything else? Is it unfinished at the moment? Are you still going to tune it more?
I mean, I don't think a project car's ever finished.
No.
You know.
No, that's true.
Definitely some brakes and suspension components would probably
Yeah.
be next on the list.
Well, we're talking to Vagrant Technic just now about brakes.
We've got a
Um,
track night coming up
mhm.
soon, so it'd be good to get it out and try.
We're also going to pull the cylinder head off it again.
Yeah. we
Are you
doing
really?
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I calculated that it could do with just a bit more compression.
So same story maybe on as on Ross's, the Polo.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the exact.
1.8.
It's the same story.
We're going to increase the compression ratio on it slightly, which it'd probably benefit it more on ethanol than it will on pump fuel. But
I mean, the power right now is plenty enough. You know, like,
Yeah,
it's it'll do.
It'd always be better though, couldn't it?
yeah,
but-
I think I have a feeling that I like it to be right and exactly the way it should be, and I can see that, you know, that way as you build, like it's the 1.8, so like we're building the 2 litres all the time.
Yeah.
You know, 1.8, different style of engine, and you learn as you go. And whilst it looks the same, there are some key differences. Like it's the smaller capacity comes from a shorter stroke, but there's benefits to that, such as it's got a longer rod, which means it dwells at the top of the cylinder a little bit longer. There's some performance benefits there, and
You can
also
really rev them.
the
Yeah.
piston speed's slower because the stroke's shorter, and that means that you can rev them higher with less piston speed. So
Yeah,
it means Stan's car rev
it's shifting gear, like it's some serious RP.
8,000 RPM.
Yeah, on the Nürburgring,
8,000.
it was changing
Yeah.
gear at 8.
Oh my god.
I mean, we were going past some cars that, you know, it doesn't have anything that stands out to make it look, you know, maybe
Yeah,
the
you
sticker
could
on
think
it,
this
but
is
An
you know,
E3
we were going
TDI.
past some
Yeah.
Porsches and stuff, and they were just like raising an eyebrow, you know, stock wheels.
There was a few we went by, and they must have thought, really?
that's got to be the best.
What is that,
feeling, though.
1.4?
Sorry, not sorry. Slow down, Stan. No, speed up.
You could put some TDI badges on it, and you know.
I love that.
But yeah, so
We've you probably won't believe it. We've actually been going for like over half an hour already.
Have
So yeah,
well,
unless there's anything else you maybe want to touch on, we might want to wrap it up. So thanks again to John.
yeah, that was
That was
amazing.
nice, yeah. It was.
Best of luck to Dane. We'll get that
but
done.
stay tuned is what we would say
Yep.
for that,
Yeah.
you know.
His car is just awesome, and I'm excited to see the rebuff.
Yeah. We're going to get you both back on because Stan, we're going to do a video specifically on the A3.
Yeah, and then we've
and-
just
Yeah, literally. So we're going to go more in depth, show everyone what's going on under the bonnet and whatnot. And Stan, I've got like a plethora of questions for you. Yes, on tuning and running Ecotune, like everything. So that's a little taster, I guess, of what.
Teaser.
Yeah, of what's to come.
Well, I'll not look forward to that.
I'll let you prep for the questions. But yeah, thank you again for watching. We'll grab you guys in the next one actually next week on Friday. So catch you later.